everyone, and welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
Hey, happy hump day, folks. I'm Curtis Dvorak.
And we are back. And so last night, if you got a chance to watch season 13 of The Voice, it is now officially over and is in the books.
That's right. Very competitive season. Saw the 4 finalists register 8 songs in iTunes top 10 on Tuesday. Even so, only one singer could come out on top, and Mark Barger has the wrap-up.
All right, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Season 13 of The Voice came down to a Tennessee rocker and an Indiana teenager.
The winner of The Voice is Chloe Kohanski.
The 23-year-old came away with the crown. She didn't think she'd win.
When I was on stage holding Addison's hand, I almost felt a sense of peace of like I wasn't going to win. It was like I had accepted it. This is actually insane. It's crazy. In the best way.
I wish I didn't love you.
Kohanski's coach, Blake Shelton, is convinced even bigger moments lie ahead.
How do you ignore her voice? How do you not want to own a record that has her voice on it?
Providing some consolation for runner-up Addison Agan was her Monday performance of Tennessee Rain. It hit #1 on iTunes earlier in the day.
I've experienced what I never expected to experience, and I lived the dream. And I'm continuing to live the dream.
Finishing right behind Agan was Team Miley's Brooke Simpson.
To carry that third place spot, it is incredible, and I'm just so excited to continue my journey as an artist.
4th place went to Team Blake's Red Marlowe.
I think everything turned out the way it was supposed to.
That means a $100,000 prize and a Universal Music recording contract for Kohanski.
I feel like I grew at a hyper speed on this show, on national television, figuring out who I am with you.
Kohanski now has a new identity, winner of The Voice. Mark Barger, NBC News.
It was good stuff. I didn't follow all season, so I wasn't, I didn't have a favorite. And when the announcement happened, I was looking on social media. Our good friend Trent Gilbreth, he was very happy, and Joey O'Hearn, who was on the chat a bunch, he tweeted out he was very upset. So there's people upset that Addison didn't win, and the song went to #1, so people just assumed. She had a #1 song on iTunes. That's obviously going to be the people.
Both such great talents. I'm sure no matter what they do, they're going to be successful.
Well, that's what she's saying. Like when she said, "I just accepted I didn't win." By the way, you're going to have a career. You're standing there. You're one of the final 2. You already have people want to make a record with you. So
yeah,
they're all going to be all right. But it was cool. The next edition of The Voice starts the day after the Winter Olympics ends on Monday, February 26th, with Alicia Keys returning as the coach chair, to the coach chair, joining Adam Levine, Blake Shelton, and rookie coach Kelly Clarkson.
All right, so we've been talking about it as we get closer to the new year. It's fun when these lists come out, the best and worst of 2017. This time, the worst passwords of 2017 have come out, and this is put together by Splash Data, the password management provider. It released its annual worst passwords year. Where did they get this data, you might be asking? From 5 million leaked passwords that users in North America and Western Europe had either stolen or somebody found out about.
That's the most concerning part to me. But some of these are really funny.
Some of them are funny. So we start with some of the top ones, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7, 8, because you have to have 8 letters sometimes.
There you go. So if you had a couple more numbers on there, you have the third one down the list. And password is one. QWERTY. You're like, what is that? Well, okay, so if you look at a keyboard, it's the top, 6 letters in the upper left-hand corner.
That's why it's called the QWERTY keyboard. All right, there's also this one. I think it's Namaste, but I think that one's different.
Let me in. That's hilarious.
That one's really good. Let me in is awesome.
I might steal that one. Football, I love you. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For those who didn't want to stop at 7, why not add an 8, 9 on there?
Yeah, and then they had some from popular shows. Obviously, Star Wars. Star Wars was a password, and then Dragon, Game of Thrones. That's an easy one there. Don't use show passwords that you watch.
They say you shouldn't use names at all. You should just use random letters, symbols, numbers. It should be totally nonsensical to everybody else except for you.
Yeah.
But then you forget them all, and then you got to go back and reset it, and then you forget what you reset it, and then you got to go back and go through it. You have to have a password for everything now.
Yeah. I just have there's a tab you can put on here where you can put all your passwords in one thing, so hopefully nobody steals my phone.
You just can't lose your phone.
Yeah. Well, Apple knows who they are, I guess. Oh, well. All right, it's still super early, but Santa is already being tracked by our nation's military, and you can track him too. For 62 years, the North American Aerospace Defense Command has had eyes in the sky, so they can follow every stop on St. Nick's magical journey. And on Christmas Eve, good boys and good girls can check out his whereabouts at noradsanta.org.
I remember doing this. This is fun.
NORAD uses its satellite systems, high-powered radar, and jet fighters to track Santa each year.
It's a complicated process. It's not as easy as some may think.
I mean, I want to be one of those jet fighter pilots. Before Christmas Eve, you can still go to the NORAD Santa website to explore the North Pole, listen to music, or play some reindeer games.
But you cannot track Santa until he starts making his moves, which is obviously on Christmas Eve night.
Yeah, I think if you try and track him right now, it just shows a marker on the North Pole.
Okay.
Like he's just sitting
there.
working.
Well, he's putting stuff together, you know? He doesn't have Amazon Prime.
I really hope he's not putting stuff together still. I hope the elves got everything
If
done
he's like me,
now.
he's still got a lot. He's right. He's directing traffic with the elves up in the North Pole, you know.
He's been watching us for all those gift ideas.
Yes, we sure do have a lot. Okay, Christmas cards are always a favorite this time of year, and if you're like me, it's fun looking at the pictures, you know, of families. When you open up the cards, you see how much they've grown, and you also look at the design, because there's so many places now where you can get neat designed Christmas cards. Well, now there's one Christmas card that is topping all others of sorts. It is the world's smallest Christmas card, and these guys had time on their hand at the National Physical Laboratory. Each page of the card is 15 micrometers wide and 20 micrometers tall, which is smaller than 1 centimeter. Over 200 million cards could fit on a single postage stamp by volume, to give you some there you go, season's greetings.
Season's greetings.
It's 10 times smaller than the previous record holder. Now, who decided
why?
Why? It is neat though, because it makes for a fun talker. But I guess, you know, it's the holidays. You're winding down to the end of the season. You maybe don't have a lot on your plate. You know, you're going to start the new year off with a fresh foot, and you're looking for something to do. And there you go.
I'd be really upset if somebody got me that Christmas card. Like that's not that. Sometimes like, oh, you just need to send a card because that's what counts. Like no, that I'm going to basically tell my whole family. I put cards. All your cards are all over the tree. They're there. You just can't see it.
They're just.
I just want to know, is that lab that it was created in a publicly funded lab?
Okay, that's a whole other story. Is that taxpayer funded? I don't
doing?
know. I'll go back to the shrimp on the treadmill days.
I got some stuff I could have you make for me. Anyway, all right, this is something I could really get into. New England is now home to the first outdoor bumper car attraction in the country. That's right.
This has got you written all over it.
This is not I-95 or 295 around here. You know, the pleasure of bumper-to-bumper traffic jams.
Bumper boats.
The carnival ride that involves intentionally slamming into the car next to you. The mayor of Providence, Rhode Island is such a bumper car enthusiast that he found a way to bring the family fun to his town year-round. Providence is only third city in the country to place bumper cars on an ice skating rink. It's a bit of a challenge, though. No steering in these round vehicles. You can only go from left to right and around and around.
Okay, no steering. That takes the whole point of bumper boats out. You know, you gotta be able to ram into the person next to you. That would make me nauseous, going around in circles.
Yeah.